I'm Ricky, the Canine Copywriter, and I am back with another copy edit. Every week I review copies submitted to me by a dog trainer, dog business, any kind of ethical, positive dog bods copy gets reviewed here. Why are we doing this? To show you the teeny tweaks that you can make to your own copy that make a big difference. So today I'm reviewing a service page for a dog training class, which is especially for reactive, nervous, sensitive, fearful dogs or excited dogs. So stick with me as I'm going to walk through the changes that I would make to this page and also highlight all the awesome things that are already on it. So this one was a really interesting one, actually, because when it came through to me, it was from one of my students from Underdogs Unleashed, which is my self-paced marketing course for positive dog bods. And when I first looked at it, I was like, oh, there's not very much that I'd change. You've already kind of nailed it. And she said, well, that's because I've been following everything you've taught me, which is awesome. But nevertheless, I dug a little bit deeper and I found a couple of little tweaks that we can make. So I'm going to go through the page with you now. So above the fold, this is what we see immediately. Anxious or excited dog training class, suitable for reactive dogs. When is it? How long does it take? And a CTA button to enroll. So that stuff is all brilliant. We can immediately see who's it for, what is it, and how long is it. What I would consider adding here is the areas. So I know from reading the rest of the page that it happens at 2 locations and can also happen virtually. So I'd consider adding this up here, so people can immediately see the different ways that they can take this class. And that's important because what we're really wanting to do with our marketing and our copy is to answer the questions that people have and to help them understand whether something's for them or not. And so one of the first questions somebody's going to have is where is it? Where is it? When is it? Well, we've explained who's it for. We've explained all those other bits, but I might add the location right at the top so people can kind of get a quick grasp of that. All right, let's move into the body copy. So again, reiterate what it is. Now we've got the locations here, which is great. And we go into kind of the why would you care copy, really. So Kelly says, put your dog to work, reduce fears, over-arousal, and more. If you could fast-track building your dog's progress, would it make life easier for you? Would you like to experience a community of dog parents with challenging dogs? So I'm going to stop here because this is the first place where I think we could probably improve this slightly. Now, I know what Kelly's getting at here. It's like if you've got a challenging dog, a dog who's fearful, nervous, gets really kind of zinged up quite easily, then actually being part of a community of other people who get it is a relief. It's really nice to be around other people who know and understand the challenges you're experiencing. But I think we could tweak this copy here to kind of explain the so what of it, like, because that could be read as, do I want to spend time with a load of people who have really challenging dogs? No, that's not what it's about, is it? What it's about is that kind of support that you're getting. So what? Why would somebody want that? So I'd think about that and try and pull that a bit more strongly into this line. Okay, and then we go into what to expect. So this bit we've kind of explained, like, what's your pain point? Where are you now? What's on offer? And now we're saying, okay, we have this class, and why would you care? So again, explains the hows, really, like the whys. Dogs process the world with their noses the way that we do with our eyes, and they thrive when they can predict what will happen next. You'll be amazed how well dogs process their stresses, build positive experience when shown how to do simple searches for scents, items, or people. This is a fun and informal scent work class designed to help dogs overcome overexcited, anxious, or reactive behaviors in a safe, semi-controlled environment. So there's a couple of things that I pulled from here. The first time I read it, I was like, ooh, semi-controlled, what does that mean? And the reason that I thought that is because if I have a dog who I perceive to be really out of control, semi-controlled might need a little bit of explanation, because I might be concerned about whether it's going to be controlled enough for it to be safe for my dog. Now, I know the person that's created this page, and I know that it will absolutely be safe enough, but we don't want to leave somebody landing on this page with any questions. And actually just one small word like that can introduce a bit of doubt. So perhaps either reword semi-controlled or explain a little bit what you mean there. The other thing that really jumps out to me here is the predict. and again, I know from working with lots of dog trainers essentially, that one of the things that owners who have these kind of struggles can really find challenging is the unpredictability of it. So we could tie that into, the dog will feel more calm and relaxed when they can predict what will happen next, and so will you. Something like that, just because that is a desire for them. When we're thinking about like who are we talking to, what do they want, well, somebody who has the kind of dog that this class is aimed at would really desire for life to be a lot more predictable. And to that end, we might want to pull that up here a little bit as well. So we're thinking about our intro copy for our page. Generally, I kind of follow a simple formula of like pain point. I think we could, in the copywriting world, they call it agitate, which I don't find a very nice word. But essentially what we're trying to do with those two bits is explain the pain that somebody's feeling, the problem that somebody's experiencing, and agitate I would use to kind of describe that in like a emotional or physical sense. Like, what does it feel like? What does your day look like? And then we go into solution and outcome. All right. So the solution is the class, the outcome, like what happens afterwards. And so I feel like that we could kind of put some pain points at the beginning here in terms of like helping them really see that it's for them. And then in the solution and outcome part, you might want to speak into the predictability, like we're making the world more predictable for your dog and in turn for you. And using nose work or scent work is a really great way to do that. And then we go into like why. And then we've got this brilliant bit that's like, actually, it's going to really help your dog process their stresses, build positive experiences, blah, blah, blah. That was my main kind of feedback really for, as I say, this page is, it's got everything that we need on here. It's explaining exactly what you're going to do. It's alleviating objections. There's no formal nosework rules. It's appropriate for overexcited, anxious, fearful and reactive dogs. And so that's directly speaking to an objection or a concern, a worry that somebody might have about signing up for this. They cater to each individual dog for maximum progress. We've answered the question of how many dogs are going to be there because my dog doesn't really like other dogs. And then we've explained how it works. And we've given locations and dates and that we can do it virtually. She's got all the areas of local towns on the page, which is great for SEO. So almost perfect, this page as it is. Just speaking into the SEO elements briefly while we're here. So we've already got a good meta title. So this is what shows up on Google. It's part of what people will see when they decide whether they click through to your page or not. I think we could improve this description a little bit, put your dog to work and reduce fears, over arousal and more. I think I'd probably look at rewriting that description because remember, it's the thing that makes somebody decide if they find this, whether they're going to click on it or not. Apologies, my dog is now barking appropriately in the background. So I might, have something along the lines of, anxious, excited dog training class that will help your dog learn how to be more predictable, more confident, blah, 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 something like that. So we're talking a little bit, what is it and what's the outcome? And I think, that predictability element is potentially a stronger outcome than reduced fears, over arousal and more. So I just get a little bit more specific there. I tried to pause this so I could deal with the barking. Did not work. The other thing I noticed is that we haven't got any H2s, which are essentially just subheaders, and they are important for SEO. They also help for skimming the page. So we've kind of got these as bolded at the moment. What I do is actually make these things. So this should be what's called an H1, which is just a page title. This one should be an H2, which is a subheader. And same again here. So that's a really, really simple tweak. Finally, the only other thing you might want to do is add some pictures so people can see, well, what does this semi-controlled environment look like? Who am I learning with? I don't really know what pattern games are or what semi is that much. And some images can just kind of help people to understand and see themselves at your classes. I would also have a look at left justifying this. When you have everything centered, when it's big blocks of copy rather than just like a line, it can be harder for the eye to read. So I'd experiment with putting this left justified and see how that looks. Just quick summary of what we've said. Going to look at considering putting areas including virtual here. We're going to turn this into a headline. We're going to work a little bit on the pain points and potentially bring in that predictability element, and explain the benefit, like the so what of the community of people who are like you. We're going to make these subheaders. We're going to consider adding some images. And I think that was pretty much it. Awesome job. If you would like a copy edit of your own, you can just submit your copy over to me at hello@thecaninecopywriter.co.uk. And you can submit it by email, and I will feature you here and do your own copy edit review. And if you're interested in learning how to write pages that need hardly any tweaks whatsoever, then I'll put the details for Underdogs Unleashed in the description below. I'll see you next week.